All right, bet. Welcome to the call, man. How we feeling? Hope everybody's doing good tonight on this beautiful, lovely Monday as we're sitting here, I believe, 5 or 6 days away from your lifestyle leap, right? That's what I want you to think about. If you're tuned into this event or you're streaming it, you're physically there, or you're just checking out the vibes on Instagram, you're there with us in spirit via Instagram. I want you to know that this is the weekend where your lifestyle leap actually happens, where it actually takes place. I believe that this is going to be like the launching pad for everything that's going to happen over the course of the next roughly 10 months that we have in the year, which leads me to my first question. And my first question is, what do you really, really want? What do you really, really want? Not the thing, because wanting something and settling for something are two completely different things. So what is it that you really want? So not the thing that you may settle for, but the thing that you really, really want. Not the thing that you say, well, if I can just get, here, then maybe I could have that. Not that, the thing that you really, really want. If you had everything your way, what is that thing that you really, really want? Because here's what I've came to learn. Most people, it's not that they don't set high enough goals and hit them. A lot of people have challenges, or the reason why they don't really get to the level they want to is that they set low goals and they hit them on the head successfully every single time. I have this low goal set where I can just make enough money to just pay my bills this month. I'll be cool. If I can just, get to, platinum 150, or if I can just get to platinum 600, I'll be cool. But that's not the thing that gets you the thing that you really, really want. See, most people fly too close to the ground, and what you got to do is give yourself permission to soar and give yourself permission to think creatively about things that you truly want, and not just the thing that you think you have to settle for. What do you really want in the next 90 days? What do you really want in the next 6 months? What do you really want a year from now? Now, understand this, all things are possible to those that believe, but just how life works, everything that you set out for is just sometimes it's not within reach. But that doesn't mean that you can't get there. But what you really have to do is just set your mind, give your mind an intention on where it is that you want to go. And that becomes a dominant thought. That becomes the target. And that becomes the thing that you shoot out for every single day. You don't worry about the deadline. You just know that that's the thing that you want. It doesn't matter about how big it is. Because most people, again, they allow life to stop them from dreaming and stop them from thinking creatively about the things that they really want. And what you also have to recognize is that you're part of a platform, you're part of an opportunity that makes the thing that you really, really want possible. But you got to maximize on the opportunity that you have. You got to maximize on this time that you are in human history. And another reason why a lot of people really don't get to the level they want to get to is they go by life day to day, every single day, and they believe that your life only improves incrementally. They believe that life only gets better step by step. They don't understand that you can have something called bamboo season take place in your life. They don't understand that you can have something supernatural take place in your life. They don't understand that you can have a quantum leap or a lifestyle leap take place in their life. They don't get that part. They think that my life only improves by me just, day to day. It only improves me incrementally getting better. It doesn't, they don't know that in just one day or one person or one word can literally shift you from just thinking about something, envisioning it, looking at the thing on your wall, looking at the goal on a goal card, to that goal card becoming a reality in a very short period of time. Most people don't think that way. You want to know why? Because most people only use common sense. And common sense will never manifest a lifestyle leap. Common sense will never manifest the supernatural, because a lifestyle leap, what it is a supernatural acceleration that defies all human logic. So a lifestyle leap is that goal that may seem too big for other people, that thing that may not seem common to everybody, that uncommon success that we've talked about before, that's what a lifestyle leap is. But here's the deal. A lifestyle leap is not achieved through incremental steps. A lifestyle leap it doesn't come to pass from you working harder or trying harder. Have you ever noticed that sometimes when you're working too hard or you're working harder, that the results, they get weaker? Has anybody ever noticed that? Like, the harder I work, the more, the back office goes backwards. Or, the harder I work, the more, stressed I feel. Or the harder I work, the more, I just don't feel like I'm in flow. Has anybody ever felt like that before? Because what happens is you have something happen called the law of diminishing return, meaning the more work I do, the smaller, the lesser my return could be. Because a lot of times what we do is we do more of the same activity. We do more of the same work. We do more of the same. We have more of the same approach. And the thought that's been ringing in my head for the past 2 days is more of the same will always give you more of the same. So if I keep doing it the same way, I'm going to get the same result over and over and over. If I keep having the same approach, I'm going to have the same thing happen to me over and over and over. You remember when we were kids and we would sit there by the windowsill and, we would see flies, flying into the windowsill, flying to the window all the time on that summer day or whatever day you were sitting looking at this fly, bust his head against his windowsill, against the window every single day. Now, how come the fly never thought that if I just change my approach and I go through an open doorway, then maybe I can get out of this room that I'm trying to get out of? But that fly thought that if I consistently run into the same glass window, I'm going to logically be able to break through. Did you know that's how most people live their life? If I just keep doing the same exact thing that has not gotten me any different result, then I'm going to have something different happen in my life. No, the same thing happens just as the fly flies against the window every single day, or when it's trapped in the house, it just flies against the window because logically it sees something on the outside of the window. It sees it there, right? So you see the goal there. You can clearly see it. You see it in your mind, but there's an invisible window pane right there. And if you keep going that route that you're going, you're not going to get there. But if you think accurately and take a different course of action, then that is what's going to provide or give way for the lifestyle leap to happen, for the change to happen. That's what it takes. It takes a shift in mental thought, and it also takes a shift in action. A lifestyle leap requires new thought processes and new actions. That's the requirement of having a lifestyle leap. It requires new thought processing and new action. And the thought process that it really requires is that it requires you to get rid of doubts. That's what it requires. And here's the deal. Doubt is not produced from accurate thinking. Doubt doesn't come from you thinking accurately. Doubt actually comes from you thinking habitually. Doubt normally comes from you thinking habitually. Thoughts that you've had over and over and over, and these thoughts, they become questions. Can I make it? Will this happen for me? And those questions are the wrong questions, and they give way to what we will call fear. And I learned that courage is not moving without fear. You only know if you're courageous when you move, when you have the fear, right? So understand that for me to have a lifestyle leap in the way that I want is going to require me to get rid of doubt, but not, doubt in my head, because doubt in my head will always be there. It really requires me to get any doubt out of my heart, because doubt in your heart is what does the damage. Doubt that has an emotion attached to it is what does the damage. And if you want to doubt something, here's what you have to doubt. Because we know that doubt is always going to be relevant. So if we're going to doubt something, here's what we have to doubt. We have to doubt any information that goes against me having a lifestyle. That's the information that I choose to doubt. Whatever goes against me having a lifestyle leap, that's what I doubt. Whatever goes against me becoming chairman 10, chairman 25, chairman 100, I'm going to doubt that. I'm not going to doubt myself. I'm going to doubt what somebody put in the chat. I'm going to doubt my limits. Because what if I told you that the limits that you think you have are not the real limits? I don't have people. That's not the limit. I don't have, money. That's not the limit. The limit is the idea that you keep telling yourself over and over and over in your mind, and a prison is now created in your mind, and you can't move outside of that prison. That is what you should be afraid of. And it's so hard to escape that prison once you get there. Once you get to that prison and you're trapped by doubts and you're limited by doubts and fear in your mind, that's when you have, because the outer things, I don't have enough people, I don't have the money, those are not real. But the doubts in your head, when you think on them over and over and over, they make those things real. So here's the deal. The antidote for doubt, number one, is information. And the most important information that you need is information on where you're going. That's the most important information that you need. Because when I have this doubt that shows up in my mind, I also have to have another compartment in my mind that provides information that will help me doubt that doubt. That will help me see where it is that I'm going. See, your mind, what it has is it has file cabinets, it has storage bins in your mind. And so the reason why I said a lot of our doubts are habitual is because in our mind, we have this compartment there of information that has limited us in our past. Experiences as a child that stopped us from thinking that we can do something. We had an experience as a kid that is still playing over and over in our life today. So we have this file cabinet of information, and anytime we want to do something different, we want to do something new, our mind subconsciously goes to that file cabinet to pull out information to prove to you why you can't do it. It's habitual. You understand what I'm saying? It's not accurate, but it's habitual because we thought about it so much over time. Our mind can easily say, oh, you know what? They want to become successful. Let me go to that cabinet over there and pull that piece of information out. And if you don't have any other information that can help you doubt this information, your mind is going to submit to that information. And that information is going to keep you in the same situation that you've been in this whole entire time. So the antidote for doubt, number one, is information. And you need information on where you're going. But watch this, you also need information on what can help you believe. So what information can help you believe in the thing that may be hard or challenging for you to believe in today? What information, because information is the remedy for doubt. You want to know why? Because when faith is present, doubt disappears. When faith is present, doubt disappears. Faith based on understanding is the key to freedom. So there has to be information for me to understand. When I get that information, that can rid my heart of the doubt. But there's always going to be a little doubt in my head, though. That's the thing about doubt. You're never going to be 100% sure about things. There's things that I'm working on right now that I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to do, how I'm going to bring this huge idea, this huge concept to pass. But what I do know is that I'm going to do it. That's the only thing that matters. It's not about how, it's just about knowing that I am going to do it. So, because I know where I'm going, right? And I have information around me that can help me believe. But watch this, the real antidote, the heal all to antidote is this: acting as if it was impossible to fail. That rids all doubt. When you can act, what if every single day you acted as if it was impossible to fail? Think about how much more confident you would show the plan with if you knew that everybody was getting in. Think about every time you hopped on the charts, every time you opened up your charts or whatever, and you're about to place a trade. Imagine as if you knew 100% that you were going to win that trade. The level of confidence that you're going to have when you place that trade is going to be different. It's going to be at an all-time high. But what if every single day you acted as if it was impossible to fail. Because watch this, it really is impossible to fail if you don't quit. It's impossible to fail if you don't quit. So what if every day you just acted as if you knew without a doubt that you were going chairman? Because this is what's going to help me ease my mind and ease my heart of any doubt that was there, because I'm acting as if it's impossible to fail, because it truly is impossible to fail as long as I stay in the game. If I don't quit, I can't fail. But here's the thing about failure. When you think you do fail, when you think that, I did this event, nobody showed up. I launched my business, nobody got on my launch call. I played some trades, but I didn't win one. Did you know every one of those failures provided you feedback? So you have to look at failure also as a resource, because it allows you to learn. So don't look at every failure as negative, or what you think may be a failure as negative. You have to be able to find the positivity in every experience that you have. Here's why: because God never wastes experiences. He never wastes experiences. There's something that you can learn every trip. Every time you try something, there's something that you can learn from it. Every time you do something, there's something that you can learn from it. Every time you go through something, there's something that you should learn from it. Failure is not loss. Failure is feedback. It's one of the greatest resources that we can have if you respond to it the right way. So we're talking about doubt, right? And we understand that if we want to doubt something, we can't doubt us having a lifestyle leap. We can't doubt us having supernatural acceleration happening in our life that defies all human logic. We can't doubt that. What we have to doubt is anything that goes against that. So any idea that pops in my head that's not conducive to that, I'm going to doubt that. I'm not going to doubt where it is that I'm going. And it's going to make it easy for me to doubt my doubts when I have information, number one, on where I'm going, but I'm also receiving and listening to information that's firming up the way that I believe. I went to the actual lifestyle leap. I got in the actual room, and that helped me believe that I can have a lifestyle leap and that I can have, a sudden increase in every single area of my life. I don't have to go through life with just incremental movement. One person joining my business, two people joining my business. I can have a day where 25 people join my business. You understand what I'm saying? But it takes a different level of thinking. Remember, it takes a pivot in the thought process, a shift in the thought process, and it also takes a shift in the action. That type of action I have to take is acting as if it was impossible to fail, because I have to know that it really is impossible for me to fail as long as I don't quit. And even when I think I fail, I recognize that failure is a resource. Failure is feedback. There's something that I can get from that. Okay, they didn't show up, but why didn't they show up? Did I market my business the right way? Did I actually send invitations to it, or did I just post it and just hope that people would cop on my call? Did I follow up with the people that I need to follow up with, or did I just get them on the call and I did not lead them to the next exposure? Did I check all my points on that particular trade? Did I make sure that the retest happened? Did I make sure that I had the risk management set? What can I learn from this L that I just took? Because failure is not final. Failure is feedback. Right? But also a lifestyle leap requires you to play offense, because all throughout life, you got to understand that there's moments, because again, we're talking about, last week we talked about, I believe, or maybe on another call I was having, that you have to fight for what it is that you want. And maybe I didn't talk about it in this call, but let me just talk about it anyway, because I feel like somebody may need it. Because here's the deal. Even though something is yours, you still may have to fight for it. Because we always talk about what you want, the goals that you've set, they're already yours. There's nothing you can do or can't do to bring the thing that you want to happen in your life to pass. Because if it's for you, it's for you. And there's nothing that you can do or not do to make that thing not for you. You understand what I'm saying? So understand this, but you still may have to struggle for it. You still may have to put up a fight for it. Because if I were to walk into your house and I were to take something from you, you have every right to fight me, because I'm taking something that's yours. So your goal spiritually is yours. So there's going to be a battle that you have to fight from a mental standpoint to prove that you really want this goal. You may not have to physically fight. You may not have to struggle fight, but we always talk about the hard work is more important than the hard work. But then God told me something. He said that the hard work is actually harder than the hard work. And that's what makes it more important. It's not just that it's important, it's actually harder. It's harder to see things the right way. It's actually harder to be kind to people when they're mean to you. It's actually harder to not judge. It's actually harder to see people for where they can go and not who they are today. It's actually harder to actually be patient when you have a skeptic on the line. It's actually harder to do that. So if you can work harder on your heart, that's going to make the hard work that you physically have to do easier. But that, my friend, is a challenge. That is a fight. So sometimes when we're fighting in life, sometimes we may be on the defensive role, because sometimes there could be so much happening to us. There could be so much negativity happening around us. People, 2020 was a crazy year for a lot of people, and they had challenges happen: work challenges, family challenges, health challenges, whatever the case may be. And I understand that sometimes when life throws punches, it's kind of hard to punch back when life throwing punches pretty fast. So sometimes you got to get into a defensive role. And when you're in that defensive role, you still got to be able to see your goal. You still got to be able to see where it is that you're going, even though you're in defense, even though you're just trying to stop the punches of life from hitting you, even though you're just trying to stop feeling the way that you're feeling, you still just got to be in that defensive role. But when it's time for you to have your lifestyle leap, you got to shift from being in defense to being in offense and get an active pursuit of the thing that you want. See, when you're looking to have a lifestyle leap, it's not just you wishing for it. It's not just you wanting it. It's not just you desiring it. It's not just you longing for something. That's not how it shows up. It shows up because you're playing offense. It shows up because you're actively doing something. You're actually proving that this goal that you have, you really believe that is yours by the way that you're taking action. Now watch this. Remember, it's not that I'm trying harder though, because I know that it's already mine. And me just trying harder, doing a little bit more, that's incrementally going to get me there. But I'm looking to have a lifestyle leap. And a lifestyle leap requires a mental shift in me believing that my life can change in 90 days in a major way. I can have a sudden increase happening in different areas of my life that defy all human logic. You know how you go from chairman 10 to chairman 50 in like 2 or 3 weeks? Yeah, that's what happened to me. Lifestyle leap, supernatural, bamboo season. So it's something that defies human logic. It doesn't make sense. So it may not make sense to you, but you trying to make it make sense is going to stop it from happening in your life. What you got to do is focus on ridding your mind of doubts, doubting why it cannot happen. And you have to replace that doubt with ideas and concepts that it can happen. And then you get the information that you need and you act every single day if it was impossible to fail. And every single day you're playing offense because you're acting as if it was impossible for you to fail. And because you're playing so much offense, because you're pursuing the thing that is already yours. Remember, I'm not chasing after something that's not mine. I'm only pursuing it because it is mine. That is a mental shift that you got to have. I'm not working for something. I'm working from the idea that is already mine. Did you catch the difference in the word? I'm not working for it. I'm working from the idea that the Bentley's already mine. I'm working from the concept that the $1 million home is already mine. I'm working from the concept that whatever I want, whatever I desire is already mine. And I'm going to actively pursue it. I'm going to actively fight for it because it's mine. Because if somebody walked into my house, took something from Keegan and ran off with it, I'm going to chase the person because they took something that belonged to me. So you have to actively pursue what's yours. Sometimes it'll just come to you. It just show up. People just show up, but they don't show up without you being in active pursuit of it. That's the crazy thing about it. They're only going to show up because you're actively pursuing. And watch this, a lifestyle leap requires you to take risk. A lifestyle leap requires you to take risks. So I want you to ask yourself this question. What am I risking if I don't go for a lifestyle leap? What am I really risking if I don't take the jump? What am I risking if I don't do it? Like, think about that. Because a lot of times we think that we can't do things because we have these obstacles, these oppositions, these odds that are in front of us. But what if I told you that the biggest obstacle to overcoming odds and overcoming obstacles is never challenging them? That's the biggest obstacle right there. The biggest obstacle to me overcoming my obstacles is me never challenging my obstacles. And most people never challenge their obstacles. Most people never take risk. Here's the risk that I want you to commit to taking. I want you to risk believing in yourself. I want you to risk believing in yourself. I want you to risk acting on the assumption that it's impossible for you to fail. Like, think about that. What if every day I acted as if it was impossible to fail? What if every single day I just risked believing in myself? Because we got to take a risk every single day. Every time you wake up, there's a risk. I can stay in the bed. There's a risk of me staying in the bed and missing work. There's a risk of me staying in the bed and not going to workouts. There's a risk in me staying in the bed, not taking the key into school, right? So there's a risk every single day. But the risk that I want you to take is the risk of believing in yourself, for you to believe that, hey, I don't have to just settle for incremental movements. I can say, hey, in the next 90 days, I want to be a platinum 2000. Yeah, I'm a customer right now, but in the next 90 days, I can be a platinum 2000. All it takes is a mental shift and a change in my action. And because remember, more of the same normally gives you more of the same. So if your same activity every single day consisted of not showing a plan, not prospecting 3 to 5 people, well, guess what? Something different will be you showing the plan, talking to 3 to 5 people. Because if I keep doing the same work, I'm gonna get the same result. So there has to be a shift in my mental clarity, what I want, where I'm going. And I have to change the thought process that it just doesn't have to take incremental movement for me to have a crazy jump in my life. It can happen suddenly. But I have to use what I have. And we talked about that before. All you have is all you need. If you go back and listen to these calls, man, I was listening to them earlier, man, these calls just be flowing together. You could just tie them together like a puzzle. Matter of fact, homework assignment, I want you to go back and listen to the first Lifestyle Leap video and ask yourself, did I apply what he was saying in that? When he talked about mastery, mastering my mind, mastering my emotions, mastering the skill set. When he talked about momentum, when he talked about manifestation, did I get that concept? It's on my YouTube channel. You want to go back and listen to that. Because this is the full synopsis of how you have the lifestyle. All this information just ties together. But here's the deal. You got to take that risk and just believing that it can happen for you. That is a risk. For some people, that's a risk. That's a big risk. I'm a risk believing in myself. Why is it a risk? Because most people have never believed in themselves truly. And you want to know how I know? Because it shows up in the words that come out of their mouth, and it shows up in their everyday life, their everyday activity. So what if you start believing in yourself every single day? Action always follows belief. Man, take that risk of acting as if it was impossible to fail. Have that assumption of I succeed in every. What if you lived life every single day knowing that everything your hands touch turn to gold? What if you walked around like that every day? Like, it don't matter what I do, it's going to turn to gold. But most people, it's hard for them to think that way because of all the information, all the stuff that's happened in the past, all the failures that they've had. But that's what I'm saying. This requires you to take a risk. Challenge your excuse. Doubt your doubts. Don't doubt what can happen for you. You doubt your doubts and you take what you have. And listen, all you have is all you need, because everything that you currently have right now, the reason why you have it is because God believes that's what you're supposed to have right now at this moment. And it's on you. It's your responsibility to take what you have and multiply it into more. You have 3 different types of people. You have one person who was given 5 talents. You have one person who was given, let's say, I believe it was 2 talents. And you have another person who was given 1 talent. But they were all given these talents according to their ability, right? So one person didn't get more talents, based on X, Y, and Z. They got the same talents according to their ability, right? So whatever you have right now, God believes that's what you're supposed to have right now, according to your ability, your mental ability, your physical ability, like whatever the case may be. All you have right now is all you need. So watch this. One person took his talents and he multiplied it. The second person took his talents and he multiplied it. But you also have the other person who had some talent, but they didn't do anything with it. So what God did, he took that person's talent and he gave it to the person that had the most. So what if the reason why you're not multiplying is because you're just not utilizing the talents, utilizing the skill set, utilizing the voice, the influence that you currently have today. And because you're not doing that, it can't multiply. And you see other people continuously having more because they're just using what they've been given. All you have is all you need. All you have is all you need. So watch this. The final thing I believe that a lifestyle elite requires, it requires you to rely on the who and not the how. A lifestyle elite requires you to rely on the who and not the how. So many people believe that because they don't know how it's going to happen, that it's not going to happen. That's not your business. What you have to do is set the intention on where it is that you want to go. You got to write the goals down, believe them, put them around you, get the pictures up. Every, 6 months or so or a year or so, I always tell people when I get on these calls, get some new pictures. It's time for, if you haven't got any new pictures of the things that you want in the past, like 5-6 months, it's time to get some new pictures. So tomorrow, I guess I'm going to spend like an hour or 2 hours of my time doing. I'm going to just go get some pictures. I'm going to get my phone, put some stuff together. I'm going to go to Office Max, print it, get it laminated, and I'm going to put it around my house. And I challenge everybody else to do that as well. Because it's not about how it's going to happen. That doesn't matter. It's what matters the most is that you believe that it's going to happen because you're relying on the who. Same letters, different order. W-H-O, H-O-W. Same letters, different order. So I just got something. You can have people looking at the same thing, but see two totally different things. People can be looking at the same things, but see two totally different things. Same situation, but they see them differently. Same back office, but they see it differently. Same leaders, but they see them differently. Same type of leaders, they just see them differently, right? So here's the deal. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. Sometimes we may not see the evidence around us, but that doesn't mean that it's not there. Have you noticed that you can't see the wind, but you always feel the effects of it? You don't know where the wind is coming from, but you feel the effects of it. You know that it's there. You can't see Wi-Fi, but you know the Wi-Fi is there. You can't see the Wi-Fi, but every time you walk in somebody's home, what do you ask for? The Wi-Fi. You know it's there. Every time you walk into a hotel room, you don't even see the Wi-Fi box in the hotel room, but you know the Wi-Fi is there. But you don't have to see it because absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. So just because you may not see how it's going to work out, how God is going to work it out, doesn't mean that he's not going to work it out. You just got to believe because all things are possible to those that believe. So if I can believe it, if I can really believe it, and I have this feeling in my heart, that's real belief. There's a real true thing there, then that means it's possible for me. I just got to keep believing, even in spite of my situations. Even in spite of what I see sometimes, because it's not always going to look the way that I want it to look. But I just got to keep believing because I understand that me hitting this goal, listen, I need you to really get this. Your goal is not based on the people, the resources, or anything that you currently have right now. So like you going to your next rank is not based on what your back office looks like right now. That's not what the goal is based on. It's based on your ability to believe. When I put that together, my life became so peaceful because I understand that it's not about what's currently happening in my business or what's not happening in my business. It's not based on who decides to go to another organization. It's not based on who decides to quit and go do something else. That's not what my goal is based on. That's why I don't really count the numbers a lot, because if I count the numbers all the time, that means I believe at some point that I'll be limited to the people that I count. See, if I don't count the numbers, I'm not limited to those people that I'm counting. My goal is based on my ability to just believe. But can I believe when the numbers look ugly? That is the whole challenge. Can I believe when the trading account looks ugly? It's easy to believe in the beginning, but it's harder. It gets harder and harder to believe as the days go by. So what you have to be really, really good at is managing the middle. Most people can't manage the middle because it's always messy in the middle. Did you ever, like when you were a kid and like your grandma, your mom was cooking Thanksgiving dinner or maybe cooking for your birthday? Have you always noticed that the kitchen was always messy in the middle? In the middle of them cooking, the kitchen was the messiest. It was powder, it was flour everywhere. It was chicken everywhere. Everything was all over the place. But as soon as that meal was done and they gave you the food, the mess didn't matter anymore. And you realize that the mess never really even mattered because it wasn't about the mess in the middle. What it was about was the final project, the final meal. And that's what you have to understand, that it's not about the mess in the middle that I may be faced with right now. What it's about is, can I keep going in spite of the mess in the middle so I can get the meal at the end? If I can do that, if I can manage these moments to right in the middle, then I know that the meal is going to feel good. It's going to taste good, because I was able to manage the middle. So understand that the lifestyle leap, number one, it starts with you changing your thought process. And you first start changing your thought process by, number one, doubting your doubts, right? Doubting your doubts, and then knowing where you're going. What's going to help me believe? I need information that can help me believe. And then the next step to ridding my heart of doubt is acting every single day as if it were impossible to fail. What if you knew you could not fail? And here's the thing, God is within you. You can't fail. That's what you have to understand. And also understand, when you do fail, it's not failure. It's only failure when you quit. But that moment of failure in time is feedback for you, something that you can learn from. It's a resource. And then you got to take risks. You got to play offense, right? Now understand that I have to challenge my challenges, because the biggest obstacle in life is to overcoming your odds, overcoming your challenges is never challenging to begin with, right? And you got to take that risk of believing in yourself, and then finally relying on the who and not the how, because you, like, the lifestyle leap that you see in your head, there's no way possible that, like, let me just use me. What I see in my head, my lifestyle leap in my head, what my life looks like 8 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, mentally in my head, I can't put those pieces together on how all this stuff happens. I can't just say this is how by 30 years old, I'm going to have $10 million tomorrow. I don't know how that's going to happen. That's not my job. My job is just to rely on the who's going to do it for me, and relate myself to that person, God, with gratitude every single day. Thank him for it before it shows up and it expedites in my life. That's all I can do. And that's all I want to do. I don't want to do anything else because I might mess it up. So I'm just work hard. I'm just have a focus. I'm going to take the correct action every single day. I'm going to believe that this image in my head is already mine. And I know that even though it's mine, I still may have to fight for it. I still may got to struggle for it, but I'm willing to do that every single day. I'm willing to work at that every single day. I'm willing to doubt my doubts, right? And believe my vision every single day. I'm willing to take a risk on believing in myself every single day. I'm willing to rely on who's going to do it and not how I'm going to get it done every single day. And creating that rhythm of thought process, creating the right course of action every single day. I'm telling you, you're going to look up and you're going to have a lifestyle leap. You're going to look up, you're going to be 2 ranks ahead. You're going to look up and your bank account is going to be different. You're going to look up, your relationships are going to be different. Everything is going to be different because you're taking the right steps. And here's the last thing I want you to understand. A lifestyle leap isn't something that you prepare for. You don't prepare for it. You just take the action. And when you take the action, things just begin to manifest. Things just begin to work out in your favor. Action is everything. So upon leaving the actual, because again, Saturday, that's where your lifestyle leap takes place. The energy that's going to be in a room, the energy that's going to be coming through the Wi-Fi if you're watching a live stream, that's where you're going to put everything together. You're able to take your thoughts, your vision, and you put together with real emotion. And you have the power of agreement, working with thousands of people agreeing that we're all having our lifestyle leap. That's when it happens. Because of the energy, the emotions. But you got to follow up with the proper action following the event. Like, what are you going to do leaving the event on Saturday? What's your expectation for the event on Saturday, coming out of the event on Saturday? What do you want life to look like 90 days from now? That you can really believe, not what sounds good. Yeah, I know we're talking about a lifestyle leap and you can dramatically change your life and all that. Not what sounds good, but what you can really, without a doubt in your heart, believe. That you're willing to put the work in and actively pursue every single day. What is that? The thing that you're willing to wake up and work for every single day because you really believe it. What is that? Because that is what God wants to do in your life. So I love you all. Let's have an amazing week. I dropped the link to the serve team in the chat. I'm going to drop it again. Again, the serve team is the greatest honor, the greatest responsibility of this event. So we're looking for about maybe 10 more people or so. So if you don't have a ticket and you want to come to the event, you want to get in that chat, because everybody that's on the serve team, obviously they're going to be there in the environment. So we're looking for about maybe 7 to 10 more people to become a part of the serve team. We'll have a call about the serve team and the responsibilities of that tomorrow. So it's about to be an amazing week. I'm excited. The production of the event is going to be awesome. I'm telling you, what you're going to experience and witness at this event, you're never going to forget it. Guarantee it. So I love you all. Let's have an amazing week. I will see y'all at the bank. And for those coming to Atlanta, can't wait to see you at Lifestyle League. See y'all.